Alright, listen, I don't usually do long movie reviews, and when I do, they typically end up under really random, obscure tokusatsu films on Letterboxd that 12 other people have seen. But for some reason, I felt differently this time, and thought this one deserved a proper video. Back in December of 2024, I heard filmmaker Justin Decloux talk about a lost cut of 1990's Captain America, a version directed by Albert Pyun that nobody had seen. I missed his one-time Twitch stream of it, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. I spent months digging until I finally came across a Facebook post about an apparent official Blu-ray release of this work print. Something came over me, and I bought it without hesitation. And now, I have finally laid my eyes on Albert Pyun's original work print cut of Captain America. And quite frankly, I was blown away. When Captain America quietly released in 1990, it was dismissed as a cheap, awkward mess, crippled by slashed budget, production problems, and brutal studio interference. Most people only know this chopped up version, which was dumped to VHS and cable, and in the decades since has become the target of many deserved memes. But what most people don't know is that Albert Pyun had his own cut, one he personally held onto for decades, in 5 battered film canisters carried from house to house, always within his reach. Deep down, he just believed it was worth preserving. Now, that version has finally surfaced, and what it reveals is classic Pyun. Messy, ambitious, and full of heart. If you want to dive deeper into how this version came to light, check out Justin Decloux's very detailed breakdown. It's linked below. Pyun's attitude towards filmmaking was inspirational. It was one of total commitment, and in this version of the film, you can feel that passion in every frame. Yes, this version is definitely a work print. There is literal damage on one of the film reels, but even in this raw form, you can see how well the themes, the editing, and the performances land when viewed in their intended context. Despite working with almost nothing, Pyun put his all into this movie, just like he did with every other movie he made. And here, buried beneath the reputation of a much maligned failed superhero movie, is something personal, strange, and quietly emotional. Now, this cut likely would have been tightened had Pyun been given the chance, and the audio is definitely rough in places. But even so, some scenes here are still genuinely moving. What really gets the biggest punch-up is Matt Salinger's performance as Steve Rogers. In the original cut, he and Scott Paulin's Red Skull comes off as goofy, but here you can definitely feel an air of tragedy. Pyun's edit gives them the space that they need, and in that space, they become almost operatic. His love for the comics and his sincere, earnest approach gives the movie a tone that's way more human than expected. It's amazing how far he stretched that non-existent budget. The story travels across continents, decades, flashbacks, and those flashbacks are a major structural change. Instead of front-loading all the World War II material, Pyun spreads it throughout the film, and the way he cuts those moments in are visceral and dreamlike. They add real emotional weight. And it's not just exposition, it's character, it's style, it's a rhythm that feels surprisingly modern. Those flashbacks provide a sense of action and special effects to the more quiet moments that come with them. And those flashbacks and quiet moments are what are severely lacking from the original version of this film. Scenes like this new ending, Red Skull's origin, and a reunion scene between Steve and Colonel Lewis absolutely proclaim the film's central themes. And without these moments, the film barely has any arcs. With them, it feels like it's finally making a complete statement.
Well, it used to be you knew what to fight for, who to fire at. Now they just keep telling you some dirt poor peasant somewhere that you're gonna go blow in the kingdom come. Korea, Vietnam. Who knows what God-forsaken place will be next, hmm? Hell, boy, look at the names on that wall. Every single one of them is a young fella like you that died in the mud for no reason at all. War used to mean a fight to preserve an ideal, to protect a dream. Now it's just a goddamn business. Shit. We don't even know that we're all up a tree just a sawing away the same branch we're sitting on.
Moments like these hit differently in this version, because here the movie around it actually supports them. It isn't just about punching Nazis, although that's very fun. It's about what happens when the dreams and the world you thought you knew is dead and gone forever. This melancholy tone, the experimental editing, and the refusal to play it safe is absolutely what I vibed with the most. Seeing this kind of artistry, patience, and risk-taking in a direct-to-video superhero film made in the 80s, that's not something we see anymore. If you're a fan of comic book movies or Albert Pyun's work, or honestly if you just want to see what happens when a filmmaker gets to tell his version of the story, I'd say this cut is absolutely worth seeking out. I know this is not the video that I teased at the end of the last one, but rest assured, the Metal Gear project is well underway. It has been researched, something has been shot. We're still working on getting the bulk of it done, but I want to just put something out in the meantime. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, be a good person. Try your best. Bye.
Well, it seems that age hasn't slowed you down one bit.